Good evening, my friends, and welcome to Wednesday night meditation. So wonderful to have you. As you well know, our work is always centered around the magic of the star tetrahedron. It is the wave of evolution that humanity is now stepping into, from out of our humanness into our human divine nature, as we learn to embody and become the living light. This is the true meaning of the word ascension, not to go somewhere, but to literally embody the earth with light as we as humanity ascend in light on earth. I wanted to talk to you just a bit about some of the things that are going on the planet right now. Last week we talked about the virus and how it was really an effect, and the cause was Mother Earth moving to another place of light activation. Well, it's the same way with what is going on in our world today with the riots, the protests. I honor the protests and I acknowledge the people. At the same time, what we're seeing is, once again, is just an effect. And the cause is Mother Earth is now moving into a trajectory of light activation. She has literally moved through that in 2012. And we as humanity were supposed to make that light activation jump into a higher state of consciousness. But humanity continues to be in greed and separation, in power, in manipulation, in, as our dear president says, domination. And we well know that, as my good friend Marcia King sent me, or Marcia Kempton sent me the quote from Martin Luther King, "Only love will show the way." And it's that way with the shifting of Mother Earth into this new dimension. As I said, I honor the protest, but it's only as humanity comes into a spiritual consciousness that we're really going to shift the Earth grid and move into relationship with her already embodied new form. She is living in that new form, and whatever does not vibrate to it is being slowly taken away or rapidly taken away. There was a beautiful study done by Maharishi and his group of TM meditators back in 1993. And I'd like to read this short synopsis. A 2-month national demonstration project conducted in Washington, D.C. showed how a coherent creating group of TM meditators can reduce crime and social stress and improve the effectiveness of government. This was carefully controlled scientific demonstration carried out between June 7 and July 30th, 1993. The study involved a group of TM meditators who increased in number from 800 to a number of 4,000 over that trial. TM Crime Prevention Project in Washington showed a maximum 23.3% reversal in the predicted violent crime. Before the project, the chief of police had explained that only thing that would reduce and create a 20% drop in crime would be 20 inches of snow. The TM Crime Prevention Project took place during a blistering summer weather. Before the project, violent crime had been steadily increasing during the first 5 months of that year. But nonetheless, a 23.3 reversal in all violent crimes. A week or so after the start of the study, violent crime, homicides, rapes, and aggravated assaults measured by FBI uniform crime statistics began decreasing and continued to drop till the end of the experiment. All of humanity is simply one brother and sister, no matter the race, no matter the creed. We all are from the one great source God, simply activating from within our relationship to the divine. And when we have stepped so far into separation from the divine, And then we are in our egos and our negativity and our ignorance. We then create havoc and pain and suffering. The only way out of this is, again, not only to protest, which I honor, but more importantly, through this work and through many great projects taking place, to begin to create a spiritual consciousness. Only in spiritual consciousness can we begin to reactivate the grid of liquid living light that underlies the ignorance and the separation that exists on the surface of the planet. There already is perfection in the heavenly realms, so to speak. That golden earth grid already exists. And as we do our work today, we activate that beautiful light activation. Some of humanity and some of the world will probably shift with us, and yet many will probably go through much pain and suffering if they refuse to make that shift. All of us are making choices right now, and it's a very critical time on the planet. A recent study I read today said that maybe over the next 10 to 20 years, maybe 20% or 30% of the final 70% of the animal population will finally be extinct. The fishes in the sea are already disappearing. Humanity is at a crisis, and our work in meditation is one of the most important things we can do. So I thank you for joining me tonight. And the reason our work is so important because it is the Christed Buddha nature activated. The Christed Buddha nature is the mystical marriage of true power, which is not domination nor manipulation, but the very careful focusing of intention and light. That light is focused from the area between the eyebrows and the area of the pineal gland, where the seat of the soul actually has an outpost of living light within the human form. And as we meditate more and more, the light within the head increases, the clarity of focus and intentionality awakens, and we then focus it upon the divine feeling of love. The old feeling of love within the world has been emotion, it's been fear and worry, separation. The true aspect of the divine love is oneness. Oneness within all of humanity, within all of life forms. Self-love, love for all, unconditional and unwavering. And so this is the power of the masculine in its true nature, the feminine in its divine love, and unified together, they create a field of consciousness and light around us, a quantum field, a crystalline structure. This is where the word Christ comes from, the crystalline Christ, the Christ Buddha nature, that is the nature of the oneness of humanity within form, masculine, feminine, united. And in that oneness, we no longer live in separation. We feel the oneness of Source God living within and through us. And then we look at everything in life and we only see the oneness of God living within all creation. That is the beauty and the glory of our work. One of the very important things that we do in our work before we meditate is the so-hum breath. It's more important than you might realize, because as we are doing the so as the in-breathing, we're literally summoning the living waters of spirit from within us. And as Spirit, the Father, arises forth, the so, the hum, the gentle letting go, simply allows that feeling of pure spirit light then to flow from us in a very gentle, light-filled, brilliant way. And so I invite you to be ever more focused and aware of the so-hum breath throughout the day, driving, at work, whenever you're shopping. Every moment, the so-hum breath can be the acknowledgement of the living breath of Source Spirit from you, from inside out. The so is a very deep in-breathing. It's a belly breathing. The diaphragm goes down, the belly goes out, and we fill the lower part of the abdomen. We then fill the upper lungs in the final part of the in-breath, holding for a couple of counts, and then the gentle out-breath, simply the letting go, the hum, is allowing the lungs to then exhale, moving down to the belly as it then moves in, holding for a couple of counts, and then once again, so hum in breathing. You can do the so hum during the entire meditation in order to keep the mind clear and focused. I was talking to a friend who's going through some very, very difficult physical things right now. And I was telling her that one of the most important things you can do when the mind wants to go to the fear and the worry about your disease is to simply come back to the Soham breath. Acknowledge with the So that I am breathing Source, Spirit, God within and through me. The Hum, I am simply letting that flow through my body and out into the world. And thus the mind can then take itself away from the negative thoughts and ideas back to the source of spirit, always within, always flowing. This is the saving of humanity. This is why we can be saviors, bringing light and life, life embodiment to all creation. Now is the time when we're at a very great point of crisis. Not only the things that are going on within the outer world as far as the problems with humanity, but literally the earth itself is in a great state of crisis as she moves into light activation and the environment is quickly disintegrating. Now is the time, my friends. So let's do the Soham breath for approximately 5 minutes. Again, very deep, quiet in breathing. You'll find that the Soham breath, as we in breathe deeply, it begins to align the parasympathetic nerve from the very coccyx at the base of the spine to the pineal gland. And thus the body settles down, becomes quiet, and is then ready for meditation. After that, I'll then take you through the meditation experience and explain exactly how the meditation unfolds. So let's go ahead and begin at your pace, the Soham breath. I like to do the Soham with eyes open because I do it throughout the day, driving, walking, gardening. I have a great and beautiful garden now out there, and exquisite fun to do the Soham breath. Breathe spirit on the plants. So let's begin. Spine erect, a string at the top of the head drawing you up. And very easily now. The moment I begin the Soham breath, I can already feel the open doorway because I'm so used to the meditation and feeling this open doorway, that this feeling of a living river of spirit arising forth, and then gently, just like living water, sunlight now flowing out. So I highly recommend to really be focused throughout the day and become more familiar with the Soham breath.
Gary, I got a text
Mm-hmm.
from one of our regular people,
Mm-hmm.
and a friend of theirs is on tonight named Haley Peter from Santa Barbara.
Hi, Kate, Peter.
Haley.
Hi.
Haley Peter.
Hi, Haley and Peter.
And they just wanted you to know that she was doing
Well, thank you. Beautiful.
first time.
I wish I could have sent you the small video I have that shows you the work that we're doing, but this will suffice for the night. When you get through tonight, email me and I'll send you the video. So this is the symbol of the star tetrahedron around the body. The apex at the above and the apex beneath go exactly down through the spinal column. So we want to make sure that the star tetrahedron is in front and you feel it in back. I enjoy and like to see the star tetrahedron from the pineal gland at the top of the head, the crown chakra, down to the coccyx. So that's the size of the star tetrahedron that I choose. And as the star tetrahedron is turning, the magnificent of it, that once the aspects of the divine power, the masculine, the divine love of the feminine are united in oneness, we can then be trusted with all the powers of heaven and earth. And so that's when the interior doorway opens within the very center of the chest. In India, they call it the jewel in the lotus. And it opens back into the void. The void is not the void of emptiness, it's the void of spirit, the oneness of Source God waiting to arise forth into manifestation. But it must come forth through a Christed Buddha nature. And so as we open the sacred doorway within the very center of the chest, which is within the center of the star tetrahedron, as the living spring of spirit arises forth, it touches the facets of the multidimensional spinning star tetrahedron, and it literally then spins out holographic living sunlight all around you. A rainbow array of color and light that then the divine mind is able to use and holographically create form and coalesce it into physical manifestation. This is truth. The key, of course, is to be able to focus the mind. It's a very simple meditation in one way. It involves simply focusing the mind as light, just like the light at the projector at the movie. And then with the imagination, beginning to imagine and feel the movement of the star tetrahedron. The upper triangulation moves left to right clockwise. The lower triangulation of divine love, right to left counterclockwise. Don't get lost in necessarily needing to see the movement, but over time you will see upper triangulation, left to right clockwise, lower triangulation, right to left counterclockwise. And it's these rotating counter triangulations that then open the sacred vortex, the doorway in the very middle, back in the realms of spirit, God, source. And like a living spring, it then rushes out of you and touching the facets of the star tetrahedron, it becomes the Christed prism of light, the Buddha nature, then arising forth all around you. And this is what the man Jesus was able to accomplish. He was able to master the divine masculine, the divine feminine, created then the Christed nature, the Christed field, opened the doorway, and as he said, the Father, Spirit arose forth. It is not I, but the Father within me that does the work. Because literally now the open of source that you are in the divine oneness arising within. So we bring our attention between the eyebrows, and as we then gently hold attention here, we create a light within the very center of the head, an electric blue light, symbolic of the frequency of divine mind. As we hold attention upon the electric blue light, The light increases, and then we bring it down to the heart, imagining and feeling the star tetrahedron. And as the doorway opens, we sit quietly, even with the Soham breath if you choose, as light then, as spirit arises forth, touches the facets of the spinning star, flows through the body, reconfiguring it and transforming it, flowing out to the world and reactivating the grids of living light, the heaven on earth experience as Mother Earth moves into the new golden age. So I'm going to now take you through that light activation of the star tetrahedron. I will then join with you and bring all of us into the form of the creation of the star, where we can all be unified in oneness. We'll meditate for about 30, maybe 35 minutes, and then we'll talk for a few moments afterwards about the meditation. So let's gently close the eyes. And let's begin to feel the body relaxing. Be aware of the breath, the Soham breath. Breathing in So from the spirit within the heart. The hum, the gentle letting go. Then slowly bring our attention between the eyebrows, gently drawing a line straight back and within the approximate center point of the head. We ignite with imagination the electric blue light of divine mind. It is an electric blue light that already exists. It's our attention that awakens the activation. Electric blue light. Gently holding attention here, feel the light increasing as it fills the mind. Imagine the waters of the brain becoming electric blue light. We bring our attention of the light to the heart chakra at the sternum, and we imagine and feel the star tetrahedron, a quantum field of consciousness and light, upper triangulation of divine power is turning left to right clockwise. Lower triangulation, divine feminine love, turning right to left counterclockwise. Counter-rotating triangles open a sacred doorway within the very center of the chest, the heart chakra. The star is in front and back and all around. And through the open doorway, as light streams forth, it touches the facets of the living star, spinning out living light all around us. The light of the Christ Buddha nature. This is the term, I am the light. Let us sit quietly together, and I will join all of us together in a living star of oneness. And very easily now, let's come back into the moment of the now. In one way, it's a very simple meditation. It's simply the focusing of the mind, holding it steady and unwavering. True power, ability to focus with unwavering attention and intention, the light of the mind, divine mind, not thinking mind, but simply the light of the mind. Hold it steady upon the feeling of love, which is then the magnificent star tetrahedron. And it is then the focusing of light and love that creates the union. True power and true love coming into oneness once again. We once had this within what we call the endemic state before we separated from out of source. We lived in oneness and union with the divine, but then we ate of the evil. In other words, we were given free will so that we could learn to go forth as creator beings. And we have been developing the mind to be a very powerful instrument. We can see from the technology and all of the beautiful things that have been created on the planet. The mind has become a powerful instrument of doing. But now that the mind is such a great computer, we must now bring it back into perfect honed silence and focus, true power. Because when we do and focus it upon the light of the star tetrahedron and open the sacred doorway to Spirit, Source, God, as it touches the facets of the spinning star, it spins out a holographic manifestation of light. This is the way in the future we will manifest and create. We become creator gods. This is the light activation of the body. This is the beauty of the star tetrahedron. I want to invite you to be focused with it. The more that we can bring forth in our meditation during this great time of travail on the planet and its birthing into a new wave of consciousness, we are really assisting, and this is why we have come. We meditate at 7:30 in the evening and 7:30 in the morning and 4:30 in the evening every day. And for those who choose, I send out a text message twice a day for that. Anything that you'd like to say, Dorothy?
Um, haven't had any texts from anybody.
Okay.
All quiet out there tonight.
All quiet on the Western Front. It is the beauty, of course, of the star tetrahedron that it will magnificently begin to re-architect and change your body. So drink lots of water because you're going to continue as you do the star tetrahedron work to begin to shift the vibrational tone within the physical form, the emotional body, the mental, and then create union with the spirit, the great being you are. This is light activation. The more we practice, the more we become adept at it. The more adept we are, the more we can feel and imagine the star. When I first began, my imagination was a little bit challenged in seeing and feeling the star tetrahedron, but I'm a very patient and a very focused person. And over time, it began to be very almost automatic that you bring attention to the eyebrow, the light within the head ignites electric blue. You imagine and feel the star tetrahedron because it's already existing. The sacred doorway opens and the living spring eternal rising forth. And so throughout the entire meditation, I was able to bathe every one of you online with this living light and equally receive back from you the living light and magnify it. And so it creates a magnification of all of our light as we come together. I want to thank you very much for joining us in the evening programs. Every Wednesday night we'll be here. If you'd like to invite your friends, comrades, and enemies, please do. Everyone is welcome to the Star Tetrahedron. Great blessings, my friend, and we will see you next week. Take care.